Hi, everyone. My name is 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗻𝗀, and I'm the Vice President for Strategic Cloud Ecosystems at Informatica. And today I'm going to be joined by William Creekbaum, and he is the Vice President for Product Management at Informatica. And over the next 20 minutes, what you're going to hear is about what Informatica has been working and building with Microsoft Fabric. And it is all about how we can unify trusted data, AI, and analytics. And this is a very interesting presentation also because this is the first time we are also going to be giving you a sneak peek of what we have been working with Microsoft Fabric. And you will be able to see a quick demo of all the cool things what we have been building with them. Before I start on the demonstration and the presentation and what we are trying to do, I wanted to give a quick overview about who we are, how we work with Microsoft, how Microsoft work with us, so that you can also understand the depth of the partnership which has been happening between both the organizations. Many of you already know from being a joint customer of ours, but this will give a little bit in-depth view on how closely we actually work with each other. So Informatica and Microsoft, I always say the word strategic tends to get thrown around a lot, but this is truly a deep strategic partnership, is primarily because this is a partnership which is built on the foundation of innovation. Informatica is a design partner of Microsoft Fabric, and you have been hearing a lot about Microsoft Fabric at this conference too, but it is not just our journey started with Fabric. The reason why we have become a design partner is also because some of the deep integrations, the innovations where both our product team and Microsoft's engineering team have been working and co-innovating. And this has led to us being deeply ingrained with most of the Azure data services. So that is why we have been a launch partner of, say, Azure Synapse or Power BI, Common Data Model, ADLS Gen to talk about any sort of Azure data services. We have always engaged early in the cycle, worked with them, developed them, worked with our customers in landing all these stuff. And this has actually been a foundation for our customer success. So who Informatica is, I already talked about the partnership, but from an Informatica standpoint, what we do is it's actually quite simple. We do end-to-end cloud data management on Azure. Our platform is AI-powered, more than AI-powered, I would even say as AI-embedded, especially Gen AI. It is metadata-driven, and it is a cloud-native platform which is built on Azure. And the purpose of our platform is very simple. It is about discovering data, cataloging the data, ingesting, cleansing the data, integrating, optimizing, mastering, and above all, governing the data in your enterprise so that there is trusted data management provided for you so that you can trust the data for any of your analytics and AI workloads. And the third part of that is, and I said that the foundation of the partnership between Informatica and Microsoft is built on innovation. Then the other pillar of that foundation is actually on customer success. And there are thousands of joint Informatica and Microsoft customers who attest the foundation, what we have built with our technology. And the best example of that is all our Azure SaaS solutions around the end-to-end data management is available through the Azure Marketplace. And as I was mentioning, who attests all these stuff, here is a small sampling, a very small sampling, but quite a representative sample of the sort of customers who use Informatica's solution with Microsoft. So we touch upon different industries. We provide solutions in different industries. Our technology is the foundation. However, we also have strategies. We understand the different industry problems and come and address those industry challenges with our data management solution. What exactly do we do in the context for Azure customers? Our motivation is all about solving critical data challenges for Microsoft customers. And one of the first things is around how can you go and find the data, discovery of the data, and see how you can bring it to an Azure platform. Enterprise is far and wide. There is huge volume of data. There are different kinds of data, and many of the enterprises do not even know where the data is. And here is where Informatica's technology helps to go and find where the data is and how to bring it to Azure. The next challenge which we look at it also is, how do I get all sorts of these disparate real-time data into Azure? Traditionally, Informatica's strength has been around data integration. We do any sort of integration, whether it is real-time batch mode or CDC, change data capture, or anything like that. And we have a massive strength of connectors. And when I say as connectors, we have like 200 plus dedicated high-scale, high-performance connectors. This all helps to get that founded data and bring it to Azure and populate it in different Azure data services. But we do not stop there. We also look at it as, when we get the data, how can we ensure that that data is high quality and is usable? Because today, one of the main things when you read everything about, hey, I need to have a Gen AI strategy, I have to use AI for many of my use cases. But what people generally miss in all these stuff is all the data, what they have collected, data, your huge differentiator and your strategic asset is, can you ensure that it is usable and it is of high quality? And here is where Informatica comes in. And this is a huge alignment point. What we do with Microsoft is also in how to identify the quality and also address the quality rules and cleanse the data for you so that the data becomes usable and high fidelity for all your use cases. We also understand that it is not just enough to go and cleanse the data. It is also very, very important in many of these analytics and AI use cases is to protect and secure the high-risk data. This includes people's PII information or personal information. How do you go and protect that, mask it, so that when you bring to Azure as a customer, you have the confidence that your data is secure and protected. So here is also one of our microservices in our platform, helps to provide how you can manage these high-risk data. You all know that as you are working through many of your use cases, one of the biggest things is around how do I get a 360-degree view of all these domain data, whether it is around the customer domain or it is under a supplier domain or reference or partner domain. And Informatica's master data management comes here, where the goal of this specific service of ours is to get all that information and synthesize everything for you so that you get the golden record or the 360 record of your customer domain, supplier domain, partner domain, whatever is the domain. And also we can also do that by industry. So this is a huge differentiator and a huge value add which we bring for Azure customers. And finally, as much as we do all these data challenges and solve, without an end-to-end enterprise-grade governance, all of this falls apart. So we do keep track and govern the data all across Azure, and also whether it is your hybrid environment or multi-cloud environment or anything like that. And the biggest value, what we also bring is you can actually track through the Informatica platform deep lineage, not just source and target, but looking at each and every level of the transformations and everything to the row level, because what it helps is, it helps with compliance, it helps with how do you apply, where the quality goes off, all these stuff. So you can actually go back and easily look at whatever is the history of how your data is getting formed. From a value prop, that is what we do for Azure customers. Our goal is in solving all these critical data challenges for all your data, AI, and analytics initiatives. What are those latest innovations which Informatica's data management cloud and Microsoft is bringing to customers? Here you see one of our exec sponsors, and who is with our CEO, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗧, Scott Guthrie. He has been a huge proponent of this partnership, and it has also helped us to provide the customer success that earlier talked about. So on the latest innovations, as I earlier mentioned, we have been a design partner for Microsoft Fabric. So what does it mean? When we say as a design partner, we have been working with the Fabric team actually for now more than 2 years from the early days of Fabric. And the goal is around delivering this AI-powered cloud data management solution, IDMC, which I earlier talked about, in a truly seamless, integrated, and unified experience with Microsoft Fabric. So when you are in the Microsoft Fabric experience, you will be able to go and those users can discover, profile the data, identify quality issues, not just identify, validate the rules, and cleanse the data, everything without leaving your Fabric experience. So that is the level of deep engagement and the unified experience that we are bringing in for the Fabric user in analytics. It is not just in analytics we have been innovating with Microsoft. The other big area where we have been working very closely is in Gen AI. I think in May we announced our GPT solution. Our AI-powered engine is called as 𝗦𝗲, and it uses all the building blocks of Azure OpenAI. It leverages the unified metadata intelligence that we have built with close to 35 plus petabytes of data. And today we do nearly 71 plus trillion cloud customer transactions per month in our platform. So this provides us all the necessary information which we leverage with Azure OpenAI so that we can enrich our 𝗦𝗲 GPT, which is available for Azure customers. And the third part is IDMC, Informatica's data management cloud, available as an Azure native ISV service. What it means is innovation and the experience, what you're going to get, you will have a single unified way to go experience seamlessly your access, provisioning, configuring, onboarding, or managing IDMC in Informatica's data management cloud directly on Azure Management Console. So as you see, thematically, what we have been driving with respect to our joint customers is provide that seamless, integrated, unified experience so that you have the right data management platform as you work with your analytics and AI platform. Today, as earlier we were talking about unifying trusted data, AI, and analytics, and what we have been doing with IDMC with Microsoft Fabric. One of the things you will see is our goal with respect to when we went with what is the value add we can provide to Microsoft Fabric, it is about bringing trusted insights and intelligence and how trusted data can support that. This has always been the foundation or the North Star that we have been using in building this deeper integration. And it is actually well said by Scott Guthrie when he looked at what we have been doing. Here is a quick reference architecture of how we build together. And the way to look at this is, as you know, Fabric is both across the enterprise and also it can be across departmental workloads. Where Informatica comes and fits in is on three major things. One is, as you know, earlier I talked about how we can bring all the data from various sources, whether it is your on-prem sources, whether it is your cloud sources, hybrid sources, different sort of sources. We have an ability to bring the data in different modes, whether it is batch, real-time, change data capture, whatever it is needed. We have an ability to bring the data using our high-scale, high-performance connectors, and we also can bring data from different applications too. So we not just bring the data in different formats, whether it is ETL or ELT, but once the data lands in one lake using some of the new connectivity that we have built for Fabric with different endpoints, whether it is, I guess, Delta Parquet or SQL endpoints or anything like that, we ensure that we take the data and we have an ability to go and profile the data, identify what are the quality parameters. If the quality is not good, how easily you can apply the rules using natural language and validate the rules and cleanse the data so that you actually go from a raw to curated data sets and have an ability to go and have trusted data for all your analytics AI workloads. In addition to that, we have an ability, as I earlier mentioned, of going through a deep data governance, whether it is from cataloging or the discovery, lineage, glossary, business glossary, technical glossary, all these stuff. It also provides you across your enterprise, right from the source of the data to how you are using it from your analytics and AI platform. We have an ability to govern the data and provide that view for you. I wanted to hand it over now to Bill, who can give you a quick sneak peek of what we have been doing with Fabric and how Informatica integrates with Fabric.
Thanks, Gopi. Now that we've taken a look at the broad support for Fabric with IDMC, let's take a look at our brand new native embedded experience powered by IDMC. Today, we're going to introduce data quality for Fabric, which is an embedded native experience that brings Informatica's data quality capabilities into the analytics experience inside of Fabric. So instead of looking at this slide, let's jump into a demonstration. To set up the demonstration for today, I'll be playing a marketing analyst, and our use case is I've just received a file from a vendor so we can do a new prospecting campaign. Let's get started. So we'll come down to the Fabric menu and we'll select Informatica Data Quality. And once we open this up, let's go ahead and navigate into our marketing workspace. I want to create a new project, so I'll come up to New, and I'll select Informatica Data Quality from our menu, and we'll select an existing data set. And we'll open up OneLake, and here we are, the EU customer init file. And this is what I've received from our marketing vendor. So we'll go ahead and select that, and we'll automatically create an Informatica Data Quality asset. And we can see that we've got a number of tables available to us, but let's stick with the customer data table. Let's run our profile on this data set. And we'll review the results. And we can see that we've got some good data in here that's very relevant to my project. But as I scan across state, something stands out. I have 136 distinct values for state. Interesting for a country with 50 states. Let's take a look at the report that we would have generated with the raw data. So we'll create a report, and we can do this built in to our product or to our service. And we'll view the report. And this definitely has data that I need for my project. But I noticed that the aggregation by state is a little messed up. I see Texas represented with 4 different ways. Let's definitely clean this data up. So we'll return back to Informatica Data Quality. And I can see that Clear has identified one insight for us. So let's navigate over here, and we'll open up the Insights tab. And let's validate the state format. We will accept this recommendation. So we'll approve it. And we'll update our preview. And down below, after the preview is updated, we can see that Florida is valid state, Georgia as an abbreviation is a valid state, but TXSS is invalid and ILNS is invalid. This is helpful, but what I really need is to have a consistent 2-character abbreviation. So let's create a new rule. We'll come up to Rules, and we'll create a new validation rule. And what I'll do is I'll actually describe what I want to do. And what I want to make sure is that we'll check for a length of 2 characters. So we'll type in the description, and we'll view the recommendation from Claire, and we'll accept this rule that she generated. So we'll create the rule. We'll update the preview again. And now we can see that Florida is invalid, but GA is valid. California is invalid. MO is valid, so on and so forth. But what I really need for my project is to standardize on that 2-character abbreviation. So let's go back and create one more rule, and let's fix the data. So we'll do new rule, and this time we'll cleanse it. So we'll convert TXS to TX. All right, we'll change California to CA, TXS to TX, so on and so forth, and we'll go ahead and create that rule. And we'll update the preview one last time, and now we can see that we've converted the state values to that consistent 2-character abbreviation. Well, let's run our profile again. We'll view the results. And now we can see that state has 49 distinct values. This makes much better sense for our data. Let's go take a look at a report. And then within Power BI, we can see that the data makes much greater sense to us, and I'll be able to use this effectively for my marketing campaign. So this has been a great workflow for a marketing analyst. But what if I were a data scientist working in a marketing group? I can take all this same quality improvements and add it to a notebook. And I'll be able to begin working with this improved quality of data directly within the Fabric notebook. Or what if I actually want to prepare the data for downstream consumption by a different team or a different application? I can come up to save the data set. I can save it. And I can make sure to map the original state value to the converted 2-character values, preview it, and then go ahead and save that data. And now it's available for a downstream use case. So that's been a quick demonstration of our brand new data quality for Fabric, which is our brand new native and embedded experience for Fabric. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Gopi.
Hey, thanks, Bill. That was great. I think everyone had a really good view of what is a deep level of integration and the value add we bring for Fabric users. You have heard about what we do with Microsoft, what Informatica does, how deeply we bring our innovations with Microsoft Fabric and the value add as customers you're going to have. Some of my ask would be like, yeah, come over, sign up for the preview, and you will have a deeper understanding of what other innovations and how we can also get some of your feedback in creating an enriched solution on data management for Fabric. In addition to that, if you want to learn more about what we are doing with Microsoft, here are some of the forums where I would say that use these QR codes and come see us and talk to us. We are going to be in Seattle for Microsoft Ignite. In addition to that, we are also available. We are also going to be in virtually also. There is also one more event I would like to personally invite you, and where you will have much more deeper information on many of these innovations. And that is the Modern Data Engineering Summit, which we are doing it, and it is going to run in December between 12th to 14th. I would strongly advise come join us, and you will hear much more deeply about not just with respect to Fabric, but even the different components within Fabric with OpenAI around data sciences for the various personas. This is a great event. Come join us for the Modern Data Engineering Summit. So with that, I would like to say thank you for all the time you spent in listening and hearing to what we have been doing and spending this time. Appreciate everything. And looking forward to meeting you either in Seattle or in any other forum, either through LinkedIn or anywhere else also. So thank you very much.